So here we go.
Okay. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
Welcome, everyone. I want to call our Hard of Hearing Task Force meeting to order. It is February 18th, 2022, and welcome. It is 9:05 this morning. Thank you for your patience as we get started for our first live stream meeting this morning. Happy to see all of your faces, and thank you for being here today. I wanted to ask and make sure that everyone is able to access the meeting with captioning down below by pressing CC. Everyone can turn on the captions. We also have 2 ASL interpreters with us here this morning. So because we are live streaming, we want to make sure that we're accessible to everyone. So welcome all. And I would like to take just a moment, if everyone could go around and just say good morning and share your name for the record. And so we know who is present with us today. And I think, let's see, I don't know if we're all in the same order, but I'm gonna say Michelle is here with us today from the commission. Kimberly, we're so happy. Kimberly August, we're happy to see you this morning. Harvey Smith, welcome Harvey. Ron Tolman, welcome this morning. Cynthia Ammerman, welcome, happy to see you. And Sarah, thank you for being here with us this morning. And I just wanted to share, Sarah is just a visitor who is going to be observing us this morning. She is the senior lecturer in Classics School of the International Letters and Cultures for Classics and Middle Eastern Studies with ASU. And she asked to observe the Hard of Hearing Task Force meeting this morning. So that is Sarah, and we're happy to have you with us this morning, Sarah. Welcome. And how do you pronounce your last name, Sarah?
It's Pomarsic.
Okay.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. And Liz Booth, good morning. And we have Melanie O'Rourke with us this morning. Good morning, Commissioner O'Rourke, and Fred Williams. Good morning, Commissioner Williams. And also Barry Forst is with us this morning. And I see Carmen is here with us, and Jeremy, thank you for helping us out this morning. And I see Roz down below too. Roz Siebold is here with us this morning. Did I catch everyone, and did I miss anyone? All right, that's for the record who is with us, and welcome. And I just want to, let's see here, take a moment. We all see that Kimberly is with us here this morning. And I just want to say a few things. I just want to say, Kimberly, I have only known you for a brief time, but it's such a pleasure to have known you and met you. And I'm hoping to be connected with you again. And I want to thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle, but I want to show you something before Michelle speaks. We would like to honor you this morning. We have a very special award that we're going to be sending you. I don't know how well anybody can see that, but it's shaped like a diamond. Michelle says you're a diamond. So it's really actually really pretty. It comes with a stand, and I want to read what it says. So it says, from the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing to Kimberly August, serving 2009 through 2021, the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing extends its gratitude for your dedicated service to the citizens of Arizona as a distinguished member of the Hard of Hearing Task Force. And so I just want to say that I'm going to be sending this to you, and I'm going to turn this over to Michelle so she can share. I know I'm going to hand it right over to Michelle.
And there I'm taking it now, okay, through the internet. Kimberly, yes, you joined the task force in 2009. The Hard of Hearing Task Force started in 2007. And when you heard about it, you as a CART captioner and someone very involved with quality captioning, accurate captioning, a captioning advocate, a hard of hearing advocate, a business owner in Tucson, you said, I really want to be a part of this hard of hearing task force. And so we welcomed you with open arms. And over the 12 years that you were part of the task force, you worked on a lot of different initiatives that we were involved with and really helped raise awareness of the importance of captioning and accuracy and quality captions, and just provided your perspective on so many different things. So we just really wanted to honor your 12 years of service. We understand that last year you needed to step off because business was booming, and we're glad that business was booming. but we certainly understand you needing to step off, but just wanted to say thank you so much, and you will always be a member of our community. And hopefully sometime maybe things will slow down, or you'll get a whole bunch more folks working for you, and you can actually start joining us again. But we're glad you're here today, and maybe you would like to say something.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you to the entire task force and to all of the staff and the people who put in so much of themselves at ACDHH. It's been truly, truly a profound honor to be on the Hard of Hearing Task Force. Enjoyed my time, enjoyed working and meeting with all the wonderful people on the task force over the years. And I can't say enough good things about the good work that the task force does, and I know will continue to do. I'm sorry that I was able to have to step away. COVID threw a monkey wrench into a lot of things for a lot of people, and my business was just one that needed more hands-on work during the pandemic. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to be on the task force anymore, but please know how much I valued my time and all of the wonderful relationships during my time on the board, and that I know will continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. All right. I just wanted to share, thank you so much. And I will be sending the award to you. So look for that in the mail. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, I just want to make sure too, I know Jeremy got us off to a great start this morning, sharing that our meetings are now going to be live streamed. And so we'll be out there in YouTube forever. And so it's a great way, though, for people to tap in and see what we are doing here on the task force. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and to show them best practices and how we're accessible and all of the great topics that we talk about on the task force. I also want to share that our meetings going forward will be now from 9 to 11 also. So that's just another important update. All right. And with that, what I would like to do is, I know we sent out the minutes from our November 19th meeting, and I hope everyone had a chance, if you were at that meeting, to review the minutes. And I just wanted to see if anyone had any comments or needed for any corrections or changes in the minutes from November. And Liz has her hand up.
This is the English teacher again, right? I have a correction of 2 names. The second to last page of the minutes. In Aloha's report, they mentioned Sue Varden. Their name was spelled wrong. It's V Varden instead of B Varden. And then on the walk report on the same page, our new treasurer is Karin Lusk-Ryden. And that name is also spelled wrong, just for the record. Her first name is Karin, and her last name is Lusk, Lusk dash Ryden, Rydin. Those are just little things, but I thought you'd want the names correct on the record. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Liz. I'm grateful for your English, your background, and I appreciate you bringing those to my attention, and I'll make sure to revise those. And with those corrections, would anybody else have anything else to add, or would anybody like to make a motion to approve? Cynthia. Oh, and you're muted. You're still muted, but are you giving the, yes. There you go.
Okay. I move to approve the minutes of the November 19th meeting.
Thank you. Would anybody care to second? Roz has her hand up. Roz,
I'll second that to approve the minutes.
okay, thank you both. And I will, the corrections, I've noted that and we'll make those changes. And thank you very much for that. Okay, and now I'd like to move on. I'm going to share a little bit. I have my own report here with me today for the hard of hearing specialist report. Just bringing over my notes so that I can make sure to catch everything. It has been very busy here at the Commission. I'm excited to share that the Hearing Healthcare Assistance Program that we are working with ASU Speech and Hearing Clinic is going really well. I've been really busy. I know in total, we have referred 25 people to the program who are in the process of being tested, being fitted, making appointments. So it's really exciting. And just this month alone, just in February, I've been assisting 19 new people. So I think the word is getting out. It's really fun. It's really busy. It's just really a privilege to be in this position, having hearing aids myself, and all of you know and understand many of these people, you know, not being able to afford hearing aids are so eager and so grateful and just cannot wait to hear better. So I couldn't ask for a better job than this. And I'm really excited that it's going so well and that it's so busy. Keeping me on my toes. My fingers are flying back and forth with the information. So I just want to also remind everyone, please continue to send anyone to us, regardless of income, because I do have various resources, even if they don't qualify for the Hearing Healthcare Assistance Project. I have other resources, and I definitely connect people not only to hearing aids, but I also always make sure to tell them about our great support groups with HLAA and Hlaa. So that's really important. Cynthia, did you have your hand up?
I did. I just wanted to ask if people from Tucson can be referred to you.
Definitely. It's a statewide program, and we welcome anybody to connect with me, and I will definitely, you know, we take their information, and definitely we serve anyone in the state of, any resident in the state of Arizona. I kind of just gather a little bit of information to see if they meet the requirements, and if they don't, I make sure to provide other resources. So please send anyone my way. Feel free to share my email or phone number. And so that's going really well. I wanted to share, I believe we told you in November that Michelle, Carmen, and I were going to participate in a Cox filming, and I'm sure Michelle will share more on this, but it was for Your View in December. So I don't know if anybody's seen that or not. Has anybody happened to see that out on Cox, our TV shot? No, not yet. So we did have fun doing that, and that came together. But so look out for that. I don't know. Have you happened to see it yet, Michelle? When I know you have. You have. Okay, great. Seen it. The other thing, you know, we do have a few clear masks left. So everyone, if I can share the link in the chat for that, if anyone needs those, I know we're still trying to be safe. And I also wanted to just share that, again, the Utah Division of Services for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing, meets Friday mornings, and they've asked me again to share if anyone's interested in joining this. They call it a coffee chat, but they have the best topics. They're there for support and advocacy, and love to have Arizona members attend. So if anyone wants more information on that, please let me know. And I am at this point, I know Michelle has a lot of things to share too, and I'm mindful of our time this morning being a little bit shorter. So does anybody have any other questions for me? No? Okay, I'm gonna turn it right over to Michelle for her report. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. This is Michelle speaking. I am the Hearing Healthcare Hard of Hearing Program Manager, and Christy covered a couple things that we wanted to mention in particular regarding the hard of hearing community. Again, yes, anybody from any part of the state can contact ACDHH, contact Christy with any questions regarding hard of hearing issues, looking for hearing aids, wanting referrals to cochlear implant companies, wanting to learn how to advocate for captioning or loop installations, or anything like that. You can certainly reach out to Christy or myself, and we will get that information to you. The project that we have with ASU, the Hearing Healthcare Assistance Project, is not just getting hearing aids onto low-income folks, but it's also providing them with oral, AURAL, rehabilitation, free of charge, because we know that oral rehabilitation in concert with professionally programmed hearing aids will enable that person to actually utilize the hearing aid and keep them on and not put them in a drawer. So that's a very important component of our project with ASU. And this is a novel project that has not been done anywhere in the country, with a state agency partnering with a university that trains students to become doctors of audiology and getting these devices onto low-income folks. So the word is getting out. And like Chrissy said, she's already had 19 new people this month. That's every day, not just Monday through Friday. She gets emails and phone calls on the weekend, handles those during the week. And it's not a one and done kind of thing. When we assist a hard of hearing person, there are usually many questions that they have. We connect them to the HLAA chapters or the Hlaa chapter in Tucson, or other chapters that might be helpful to them, the American Tinnitus Association. There's a tinnitus group in Hlaa in Tucson, which is virtual, so anybody can join that. So they may have questions about employment, advocacy at work, how to get an assistive listening device at the movie theater. So it's not just, okay, here's the hearing aid, here's a referral, good luck. It's very in-depth. So a new person every day is a lot, but Christy is just doing great. She, like we know what it's like to be hard of hearing. This is our lived experience. And so we know how important it is that we make that personal connection with that person and give them information and resources, and not to overwhelm them, but to take that piece by piece. So it's a dialogue. Again, it's many emails or many phone calls over the course of weeks sometimes to get that person to where they feel comfortable. Okay, I know enough now. I know how to navigate myself into the hard of hearing community and embrace my hearing loss and adapt to it and accommodate that. So Christy's doing a great job. Really proud of her. So glad she's been with us. Gosh, in July it'll be 3 years. So just doing a great job. We have had a number of trainings since we last saw you in November. We have trained some of the staff at the Pima County Department of Public Health. We've also with Southwest Maricopa County Public Health. And just yesterday, the Arizona Statewide Independent Living Council had a candid conversation about emergency preparedness, and Christy was one of the guest speakers on that. Earlier, it was the last month, I think, Christy also presented a lunch and learn to the Arizona statewide Toastmasters group. And she talked all about being hard of hearing and how to communicate with a hard of hearing person, how to, face the person, speak slowly, allow the person to lip read, how to use cart captioning, how to be on Zoom together. That was fun. And so just a really great presentation with the Toastmasters group. For those of you who don't know, there is a Toastmasters group. It's called Audible, AUDIBLE, Audible Toastmasters, and they meet virtually. They were established here in Phoenix a couple of years ago, and it is the first Toastmasters group in the entire world that is accessible to hard of hearing people. It has captioning sponsored by ACDHH, and it's a great group to learn about how to do public speaking. And Christy's been with them for quite some time, and is I know you're an officer with the district, I think is what, yeah.
Sergeant at Arms. Yeah.
Sergeant at Arms, there you go. And so she's been involved with Audible Talkers, Toastmasters. So that is a great group. Let's see, there's another, the West Valley chapter of HLAA. Christy spoke with them recently, and there was a group of folks. Again, we're still all doing the virtual thing, so we're Zooming here and we're Zooming there. And so Christy delivered a great presentation and had a nice conversation with the West Valley chapter members. So a lot of that going on, a lot of trainings. Also in our area, in my program area, as a hard of hearing program area, we have our free telephone program, AZTEDP, the Arizona Telecommunications Equipment Distribution Program. And Vicki is in that program, so she handles all of the client intake, client service for that. That's our free phone program, regardless of income. As long as you're an Arizona resident and here legally in the United States, if you are hard of hearing, deaf blind, speech impaired, have combined vision and hearing loss, if you need a device to communicate over the phone at home, a speech device, an amplified phone, a caption phone, a amplified neck loop, Bluetooth headphones. If you need an alerting device, we have alerting devices that tell you that your phone is ringing. For cell phones, for landlines, they also come with a little wireless doorbell and a bed shaker. They have alarm clocks built into them, so those are some added bonuses to that equipment. It's all free of charge. So just go to our website, check it out, reach out to us. You call our main number at work, 602-542-3323. You'll get our lovely Sharita, who is our information and referral person at the front desk, and she will get you to the right person, regardless of whatever your question is. So lots happening, lots more coming up. This is February, which in Christy and I's brain gets us thinking about May, because we're always thinking a couple months in advance. May, as we know, is Better Hearing and Speech Month. That is a national celebration. So Better Hearing and Speech Month will be coming up. So Christy and I will be figuring out what we want to talk about that month. I suspect that we're going to be talking about the whole over-the-counter hearing aid thing and PSAPs, personal sound amplifying products, and direct-to-consumer hearing aids, trying to make clear what is a hearing aid and what is a over-the-counter aid. Those will be coming, over-the-counter hearing aids, probably maybe late fall. As of yesterday, the estimate was probably next spring. So we want to help, the public understand all of that. So that's coming up. But Christy did mention Cox. So one of the things that we wanted to do was, again, Arizona is a big state, 7.2 million people. 1.1 million Arizonans are hard of hearing, like most of us here on this call today. And we want to get our information out all over the state. So we've partnered with Cox. We've done a contract with Cox Digital Media to have digital ads pop up on your smart devices as you're roaming around the state. We're targeting certain areas of the state so that an ad would pop up if somebody's looking for deaf or hard of hearing or hearing aids or something. The ad is going to pop up advertising our agency so they know about us. And then we also have a 3-minute commercial. It doesn't even feel like a commercial. It's so well produced. 3-minute informational, educational video spot. It's airing in the program called Your Health on the Cox television channel, which is 1004. So if you receive Cox as your television provider, not DirecTV or Dish or something like that, but Cox, then 1004 is their channel, and Your Health airs 4 times a week. I record every one because I am watching to make sure that spot is airing. It's been airing very beautifully. And it's myself and Christy and our Deputy Director, Carmen Greensmith, who is also on this call today. And we're talking about the agency and the information and resources that we provide, the hard of hearing program, and it's the phone program, and the Arizona Relay Service. A lot of people still don't understand that the free phone program is part of ACDHH, and the Arizona Relay Service is part of ACDHH. That is a program that we provide. So we want to make sure that people know that those programs and services are available to them. Okay, I'm done talking for the moment. Thank you so much, Christy. I'll turn it back over to you, unless someone has a question for me at this point.
I'm looking for, thank you, Michelle. Does anybody have any questions before we move on to the next agenda item? No? Okay. So next on my agenda here, or our agenda, I should say, we have the HLAA chapter leadership announcements. And Melanie, would you like to start off today, this morning?
Sure. As Michelle mentioned, our West Valley chapters have continued to be meeting on Zoom. And we've had Christy and Cynthia Emmerman start off the year with our January and February meetings. We're having a meeting in March with Sarah Benton, who is a member of the Arizona Commission and also an American Sign Language interpreter in the Flagstaff area. Also with the focus on over-the-counter hearing aids, we're going to be having a presentation in April, so right before May, with Kristen Samuelson, and she's the director of the audiology clinic at ASU. Her title is, and I just had to smile when she said it to me, it was, why should I see an audiologist when I can buy hearing aids at the grocery store? So I think she's going to give us a lot of information on that new and hot topic of over-the-counter hearing aids. Fred is continuing with our book club, and we've been enjoying discussing a different number of books. And we also have Pat Williams, Fred's wife and our secretary, has started a writer's workshop, which has been really quite interesting in getting your writing ideas going. So that's been quite enjoyable. Other than that, we, like Michelle said, I have started thinking we've got to come up with something exciting for May, being Better Hearing and Speech Month. And that's about where we're at. We do get some new people. It's been kind of exciting to see new people joining us at our meetings. We know, and I think Ron would agree, that some of our older members still are hesitant about the Zoom technology. So I'm excited to see new people joining us, and hopefully that'll continue when we meet in person in the fall. Fingers crossed. And that's it. That's where we're at. Unless, Fred, is there something I missed?
Thank you. Thank you, Melanie. Does anybody have any questions for Melanie before we move on to Ron here in HLA Sun Lakes?
Hi, everyone. We continue to meet virtually, and it's going to stay that way through the remaining of March, April, and May. We'll discuss it again in October, see how things are moving. The first thing I would like to say is that I'd like to put out a big applause for Ross Siebold, who has taken over the vice president position for our chapter. Thank you, Roz. In January, we had Dr. Sean Stevens make a presentation on cochlear implants. And I think the majority of the people here were there. It was just a very, very well done and very informative discussion. He's a great speaker. And then in March, we had Heidi Lervik, who is also a dynamic speaker. And again, most of you were there, so I appreciate your supporting our chapter. Next month, we say hello to Vicki Thompson. And April, we have Sherry Collins. And then in May, we have Michelle Michaels. So the commission is finishing out our chapter year. So thank you very much. We also are continuing with our monthly Hope meetings, which is the fourth Thursday of every month. We are going to discuss prior to next board meeting if we want to continue that element through the summertime. We haven't made up our mind yet, but it's going to be a topic of discussion coming up. I want to say something very personal, if I may. I put out a quarterly newsletter, and I want to say thank you for all the support that I got after the January newsletter went out. It was quite significant, some of the feedback that I got. So thank you very much. And some of you even replied to it. And I deeply appreciate the kind words. It's very labor intensive to put that thing together. So, but I think it's worthwhile to let people know what is going on with hearing loss, not only in our state, but across the nation. And I believe that's all I have. Roz, did I miss anything? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. And next, Cynthia, can we hear from Aloha? How's everything going in Tucson?
Hi, everybody. Aloha has had a change in the board. We elected new officers in January, which is usually we appoint people to the board or re-elect or elect people in November. And then in January, we elect officers. And Carl stepped down as president. So he is about to make a move to the east. So yes, well, I'm not sure how many people know that. But anyway, he has been a wonderful leader from the standpoint of the overview. He understands very well about organizations, and I've had a lot of help from him. In the new board, Sue Varden is the vice president. I am the president. Judy Thomas became the secretary. She's our editor par excellence. She's the best person to possibly do that job. And Stan Krugel is staying in as the treasurer. We are regrouping. We're at a point of regrouping right now. We are thinking ahead to the Better Speech and Hearing Month. And Carl has just gotten a man, I can't remember his last name, Keith, somebody, I rarely forget authors' names, so I'm really perplexed, but he wrote a book called Preventing Decline, and it has to do with hearing loss, it has to do with tinnitus and dementia. And apparently it's gotten very good reviews. And we're about to start that on Wednesday. We're doing second and fourth Wednesdays. And Carl is leading that group. Sue Varden and I will be sharing the facilitator job for the main group. And Melanie, I would love to talk with you about how to get more people on Zoom because it's been a problem for us too. And we're going to have a volunteer day in April and a yard sale in May. Those are way out in the future, we think now, but they're probably not. Christy, we would like you to come and speak with us at some point, so I will talk with you about that. We are lining up speakers, and we're meeting virtually also until such time as we feel that it's safe for people to come. But we do have hybrid meetings. We have meetings where we have 3 or 4 people in the conference room and everybody else on Zoom up on the TV, and we can see them. They can't see us as well, which is not ideal, but Stan moves the camera around a lot, and it's working. It's working despite some antiquated equipment that we have. Okay, I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia, and thank you for the invitation. I'd be happy to come and speak with you, and it's interesting to hear how the hybrid sessions are going. You know, I think about that because I know I love the fact that we can reach across a state when we do that. So we have people in our community, but we can maybe also keep connected to some of those folks that aren't close by. So it's nice to have that option too. Okay, well, I know Becca has joined us and Michelle has her hand up. So I'm going to go to Michelle first. Go right ahead, Michelle.
Okay, thank you, Christy. And thank you, Cynthia and Melanie, Fred, Ron, Roz, Liz, all of you who work so hard to support the hard of hearing community. I do want to mention that there is another HLAA chapter, and it's in the Valley, and it is the Working Adults chapter. Christy's a member of that. So whether you're on the West Valley or the Southeast Valley, or you're down in the Tucson area, and Aloha is this, which Cynthia's with. Aloha has other chapters down in the area, it's southern Tucson. But if you're a working adult, the HLAA Working Adults chapter is also something that would be really helpful to join. Again, we're still all doing the Zoom thing. Used to be in person so we could get all of our hugs and stuff in, but we're doing virtual hugs right now. But the chapters are so important. Again, in Arizona, with over 1 million hard of hearing people, obviously ACDHH with a small staff and small budget cannot be doing everything for everybody, but we really try to get to the most important issues, the systems level issues, the training of public health and public safety, getting the clear masks out, which was an issue when COVID came to town. And I think in the first week we had requests for 30,000 clear masks, which our support staff got on board and got those out, mailed out to people. So, we're looking at the systemic issues and trying to make the bigger changes, but we cannot do what we want to do in the community without the support of the HLAA chapters and the Aloha groups. And so it's just so important. And there has been that that missing component of, I would say the older adult, the 70 plus older adult who really wasn't tech savvy. Obviously that's an issue right now. As time goes on, as the years go by, that would be less of an issue because the younger people coming up have grown up with technology. But we do have concern about those folks who haven't been able to figure out how to click on a Zoom link, how to use their laptop to connect. And it's so important that we connect so that we don't have that isolation, experience that feeling of disconnectedness, of separation. It's so great when we all get together because most of us here are hard of hearing. So we understand that, oh yeah, I got to turn my mic on, or what did you say? Or can you repeat that? Or, hey, look at me, I need to read your lips. And it's okay. It's like the first time that I went to the Hearing Loss Association of America convention was in the summer of 2007. My executive director sent me there and I cried because I finally found my home, my people. It was amazing experience. So I know there's going to be another convention this summer. Where's it at? Who knows where the HLA convention is?
Tampa.
Where?
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay. So I know people are going to be gathering, and if you can make it there, absolutely, you want to get there as well. So I just wanted to say that about the support groups. Hi, Betty. Betty and Becca are on. Are we going to take a break, Christy, and then jump back in with our public policy folks?
I think that's a great idea. I do see Cynthia had her hand up, so maybe we take that comment from Cynthia and then have a 5-minute break after that.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that the ALDA convention is going to be in San Diego this year in October, from October 19th through 23rd in San Diego. It's drivable, which makes it a lot more fun for me. And we're going to get an Aloha contingent going over there to the convention in San Diego. Looking forward to it. I went to Niagara Falls this year. They mandated COVID cards. You had to show your card that you had been vaccinated at least twice, and most of us had to have boosters. Not one person got sick at our convention in Niagara Falls. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Thank you, Cynthia. All right, everyone. Well, let's see. It's 9:47. So how about if we come back in 5 or I don't know, maybe 5:52 or so, and everyone can maybe. Oh, Melanie, did you want to say something? I saw your hand up. No.
No, I was bracing my glasses.
Oh, okay. So we'll take a 5-minute break. Maybe we can close our camera for 5 minutes, and we'll see you back in 5 minutes, and so that everyone can take a break. Thank you. All right, we'll wait for everyone to pop back on. I'm just gonna wait another moment to make sure everyone's with us here. Okay. All right, well, welcome back, everyone. I am going to pass the baton on to Betty McIntyre, and I know that you all know who she is, but I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about her because this is our first live stream, and I know she has a very special announcement. So Betty, I'm going to turn the baton over to you.
Thank you so much, Christy. Hi, everyone. It's so great to see you all again. Even on Zoom, it's always great to see your faces. I do have a special announcement. I am actually leaving the commission. I am moving to Washington, D.C. My family, my significant other got a job out there, so I will be moving out there with him. But I am staying on with the commission through the end of the legislative session. So you can't get rid of me quite yet. But I unfortunately, I am leaving, but I have even better news. My replacement is, we have hired my replacement. Her name is Nikki, and I'm going to actually let Nikki introduce herself right now. Give a little bit to Nikki. Why don't you come on and then introduce yourself, tell folks your background, and then after that, I'll give you guys the policy update. So Nikki?
Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki Suka, and I am so excited to be a part of ACDHH. And I have big shoes to fill with Betty's position, and I look forward to all of the exciting initiative that ACDHH is being part of. Right now, I'm living in Austin, Texas, and I most recently worked for the state of Texas in their Office of Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services unit. And I'm looking forward to moving to the beautiful state of Arizona in the short time ahead. It was really nice to meet you all, and I look forward to more to come. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nikki. As you can tell, Nikki's got a wide breadth of experience to be able to come into the commission and be our new public policy and community relations director. So I'm excited to work with her for the next coming months and transition our duties and all the fun and exciting things that we have done and are continuing to do. But remember, I'm not leaving yet, so you can't get rid of me. But I do want to talk briefly about what's going on down at the Capitol. I don't know if any of you guys have participated in our new Cup O Capitol video sessions, but I wanted to quickly let you know what we're doing this year is every other Friday, Becca and I, we have a coffee chat where we talk about all the stuff that's going down at the legislature. So it's our, fun way of spilling the tea, I guess you would say, about all the legislative activities that they're doing this year. So we thought this was a different way of engaging folks. So we just had our third Cup O Capitol this morning, so I apologize. That's why we were late. But if you're missing them, we do include them in our legislative update. So we just embed those right into our email listserv, so you can watch them that way as well. So I do want to talk about what is happening down at the Capitol. This year has been really intense. There's been a lot of activity related to public education and a lot of activity related to elections in Arizona. There have not been a lot of bills that per se impact the deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind community. But as we've talked about previously, everything that goes on down at the Capitol impacts our community because we're tax-paying citizens. And so some of the bills that we are monitoring related to elections specifically are around taking away the right to early voting. Right now, there is one bill in particular. It's called Senate Bill 1404 that would only allow certain categories of individuals to be eligible to request an early ballot. Those four categories are: you are blind, you have a physical disability, and hard of hearing does not, deaf and hard of hearing does not count, and how they're defining that. You're over the age of 65, so if you're 65 and over, you can be eligible, or you live 15 miles away from your voting precinct. And that's important because what is going on is that the state legislature is trying to eliminate early voting and go back to how we used to vote in Arizona 30 plus years ago with precinct only. So one day, election day of voting, and you have to go to your precinct. So there's a lot of bills related to that. And we know from our community members that early voting is their preferred choice to vote, because it's challenging to go to the polls because there's a lot of noise. It's challenging to understand when the marshal is asking you to move and the lines and people are talking and yelling and it's congested. So this is the reason why we are monitoring those, because of the access that our community needs, that early voting provides them. So we are monitoring that, those kinds of bills. There's also another bill that would eliminate all vote centers. So for example, in our rural communities, and Maricopa County does this as well, is that you don't go to a precinct anymore. You go to a vote center and you can vote no matter which precinct you live in. They do what's called ballot on demand. They can print your ballot no matter which precinct you live in. There is a bill that's actually asking to remove those from statute. So once again, going back to one day voting, precinct-based voting only. So I wanted to make you aware of why we're monitoring those bills. There's another bill that we are monitoring, and this is a bill that would provide an exemption, property tax exemptions for any veteran who has a disability, whether it was service related or not. If they are just qualified as disabled, that they can have exemptions on their property tax. So that is something that we are monitoring specifically because of our hard of hearing community and a lot of the veterans who experience hearing loss as a result of their service. And there's two bills, one in the House and then one in the Senate, that are pretty much asking for the same thing. The difference in the Senate bill version is that it would allow the spouse of the veteran to also receive that property tax exemption. So I think that's a pretty important bill for for us to monitor that would, positively impact specifically our hard of hearing community. And then we also have, I'm just looking at my list real quick. I apologize for looking away. Oh, there's this last week was a really busy week at the legislature because it was the last week for all bills to be heard in their original chamber. And so there were several bills that we were monitoring that will not move forward at this point. Specifically, the statewide ADA coordinator that was sponsored by Representative Longden. That bill has been introduced. This, I think, is the 4th year it was introduced. That position would have allowed the state to have an actual statewide ADA coordinator to facilitate ADA accommodations amongst state and government agencies. We firmly support that position and the creation of that position because one of the things we learned out of COVID was agencies specifically don't know what their responsibilities are as it relates to ADA accommodations. So having that position would help create better access for our communities across the state. But unfortunately, that bill failed to get a hearing. So it does not look like it's going to move forward. Another bill that we were working on was creating an amendment to Senate Bill 1199. And that is a bill sponsored by Senator Gray and also co-sponsored by several other representatives, including Senator Alston, who many of you guys know. She's been a champion of our community down at the legislature for many years. She's hard of hearing herself. 1199 was, its intent was to create a advisory council for the purposes of drafting the state plan on responding to Alzheimer's and then dementia in the state of Arizona. We sought an amendment to that bill asking for the commission to be a non-voting member of the advisory council. And we requested that because as many of you know, we did the survey to our 55 plus community this past fall and winter. And the #1 issue that came from that survey was Alzheimer's and dementia and needing more information and resources and education and care around Alzheimer's. So that was the first reason why we wanted to be on this advisory council. The second reason is because there is a direct link between having a varying hearing level and Alzheimer's and dementia. There have been several studies, specifically a Johns Hopkins study that indicates that individuals who have mild to moderate hearing loss are 2 times more likely to experience Alzheimer's. And if you have profound hearing loss, 5 times. And so we felt that the state would be remiss if they did not include the State Commission for Deaf and Hard of Hearing and Deafblind on this advisory council and creating that state plan. So we did have support from the sponsor for our amendment. Unfortunately, the bill failed to make a committee agenda. So it will not, at this point, will not be moving forward, but we will continue to have those discussions and to see if it will resurrect itself this session. And if not, we'll go back again next year to ask for the same thing to be included in that state plan advisory council. So I just threw a lot at you all, like I always do. But does anyone have any questions on any of the stuff I provided, or maybe anything else that they've heard of that they want clarification on? You guys are easy on me. I love it.
Thank you so much, Betty.
You're welcome.
We're going to miss you. And I wanted to just say too, Nikki, it's a pleasure to meet you. I haven't had a chance to meet you yet. So welcome aboard, and we're so happy to have you with us. And all right, so there was no questions. We're going to move on. We are lucky to have Becca with us today. And Becca, so happy to see you. I'm going to turn the baton right over to you.
Wonderful. Can the interpreter see me okay? Okay, well, hello and good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Happy New Year. The last time I saw you was last year in November. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. Okay, I'm just going to briefly speak about the community engagement activities we've had in 2022, and it has already been busy. I wanted to explain to make sure that you knew to visit our website for the events page. That way you can see all of our upcoming events. And I don't know if I have time to explain what is on our engagement community calendar, but for example, we are still continuing to do our monthly community view shows. I don't know if you saw January's, that's where Sherry Collins, our executive director of fabulousness, was able to give some information on what we can expect to see going forward. And again, we are always looking to the community and getting your feedback and questions and concerns related to where the agency is going and where we have been coming from in the last while and our next 5 years going forward. And based on the feedback we received from the community survey, it has been definitely helpful for our events. Some of the events require registration, some do not. So just look forward on Facebook Live, for example. Let me go back to the community view, as I just mentioned in January, where Sherry Collins in the month of December had interviewed a wonderful woman named Jermaine Graham. And she is an SLP, a speech language pathologist, and she's very fluent in sign language as well as being a Black woman. And she is amazing, very knowledgeable and passionate for working with children, not just from the speech and language perspective, but also as kids are developing and acquiring language and getting access. So I encourage you to look for us on Facebook and see that, because that was just posted yesterday. So I'm pretty excited about that. There are other events as well. We've had some ongoing issues related to advocacy in the deaf community regarding access. We don't know about, and we're sure it happens in the deaf, blind, and hard of hearing community as well, but we have what's called the DEF-SAT or DSAT, Deaf Self-Advocacy Training on Healthcare, because we have noticed this is coming up an awful lot, where we have a deaf specialist on staff named Kim Menard and a licensing and certification coordinator, Emmett Hassan, who have provided some information about like a mini training about DSAT. And it could be a very long training, several days. So several modules condensed down, where we are trying to empower the deaf community as well as CODAs, or I don't know if you are aware of the term CODA, but it's child of deaf adult. We're seeing more and more adults who are deaf, adults who are hearing children of deaf adults who have to advocate for their parents in healthcare, whether it be in the hospital or going to another facility after hospital, such as a nursing home, or a skilled nursing facility, but there are always some issues with getting in and providing accommodations that their patients need while there. So we see a lot of issues coming up. So we are really excited to offer those 2 trainings that we've recently had, and look forward to seeing more that will be offered in the future. So like I said, we're quite excited about that. The other events that we are doing are by our Family Engagement Coordinator, Sonia Samaniego. You have met her, I believe, at the last meeting, maybe it was 2 meetings ago. She has been hosting various webinars that focus on families who have children who are deaf or deafblind or hard of hearing. And again, feel free to see that on our page. It's really exciting. If you can, we encourage you, any families you know who have children with hearing loss, to register and join those workshops. Okay. And then the other thing that we're also doing differently is we are hosting a national speaker series. And I believe that is next month in March, where the topic will be related to looping. So again, I encourage you to take advantage of that, register for those workshops if you are interested. And I'm trying to remember another topic we have is for deafblind individuals that is happening in the month of June, coming up in a few months. And that'll be an annual deafblind week, but we tend to celebrate the whole month, not just the week. And the last thing that we are doing is community conversations. That's on Facebook Live. And what am I thinking? Time is flying. Oh my goodness, what day is it today? It's next week. We'll be hosting with Black History Month. So we're pretty excited about that. So much to check out on Facebook Live. So look at that next week, Thursday at 3 p.m. And we'll have a moderator where we will have something from the National Black Advocacy. And then we will then see this person whose name is Marcel. I believe I spelled this correctly. Marcelette. She happens to be the New York City Black Deaf Advocacy chapter for the state there. So it is going to be really wonderful. A Black deaf woman from state, known all over the country. So she's talking about intersectionality and identity and empowering those who are Black and deaf and deafblind and hard of hearing. So as she is as well. Let me see, looking at my notes. There's one other last thing I'd like to mention is that ACDHH continues to want to partner with on voting education videos. So we partner with the CCEC, which is the Citizens Clean Elections Commission. And so make sure, just to make sure that voters have access, whether it be captioning or sign language or anything else. So keep an eye out for that. We might have more information at your next meeting. That's all for me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Back, I see that Betty has her hand up.
I do.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, me.
Sorry, just pinning the interpreter. Okay. Yes.
I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail about our national speaker series and the one that's coming up in March. We're bringing in David Myers. Many of you guys may know him, and he is specifically going to be talking about how we can loop Arizona. And so we are going to specifically be inviting not just community members, but the public stakeholders. So we're going to be sending out information to cities and towns and our state elected officials, because we really want them to hear from David about why it's important to create looping systems and other accessibility services within the communities that we live in. And so I'm really excited about that one because, as we know, Arizona was, I think, right, Michelle, we were the first state to loop our full state legislature, like both chambers, the floor, all of it. And so this was going back to what Becca was talking about, the feedback we got from those community engagement surveys. You all said, like, we want more government entities to, provide looping, to provide more services in our government buildings and stuff like that. So that's why we reached out to David because he's like a main advocate and speaker, and he's so knowledgeable about this. So we're bringing him in so those policymakers can hear directly from the expert, and then that will reinforce when we go down and have meetings with our public officials. This is why we're asking for it. This is why we need this. So I really wanted just to expand a little bit more on that specific speaker. So I'm pretty excited. So feel free, if you're connected to your local government representatives, send that over to them. We're going to have a flyer. I know Michelle and Christy will send that out to you. It'll be coming out next week. And we want as many decision makers out at the, at that speaker series. So.
Thank you, Betty. And I see, Melanie, I know Melanie and Michelle. So we'll have Melanie go first and then Michelle.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I got the email, Betty, that you sent about David Myers. And then I've also heard a couple of people mention the community calendar. And I actually was on the website, the Arizona Commission, and I couldn't find it. So is this community calendar on a different website, or how can I connect to it?
Definitely. So we have it in multiple places. So we have the actual calendar, which is showing all the series of events that we have coming through June. And then on our events page is where you can find the links to register. And so what I'll do is I'll make sure that we get you that direct link for the community event, so then you can see where all the events that we have and the registration links attached in that, as well as we'll have a dedicated flyer that will include the registration link for Mr. Myers. So we try to make it as easy as possible by putting it in so many different formats, but I think sometimes we may overdo it. So I apologize if it created any confusion. Does that help, Melanie?
Yeah, so on the Arizona Commission website, there should be a community calendar. I should be able to find it.
Yep. So if you go to our first page, and if you go scroll down below the directory, there is a section that says events. I think it's in orange. It should be an orange bar, and it's got, and you're going to click on see all events, and then that's going to pull up all of the events that we have scheduled, and there are reservation links.
Okay, great. Okay, that helps. Thank you. And then actually, Betty, I do have just one other question going back to your report. That bill for the exemption for the property taxes for veterans, does that have a number?
It does, and I knew someone was going to ask me that, and I was not prepared. So hold on one second.
Oh, well, Betty's looking for that. Michelle, I know you had your hand up too, and Betty can make sure to get us that number. And while she's looking, Michelle,
Betty doesn't have much to track. Every legislative session, there's over 1,400 bills that are dropped. So she doesn't have much to do there. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say about Dr. David Myers. If you don't know him, in the deaf community, we talk a lot about Martha's Vineyard and the deaf community there and Gallaudet University and who brought sign language to the United States. In the hard of hearing community, when we talk about looping, we talk about Dr. Myers because he is the one who brought looping to the United States of America. And if you ever took a Psych 101 class in college, you probably read his textbook. He's a social psychologist. He is a beloved man, one of the most gentle, kind, loving, really all-encompassing, inclusive, understanding men that I know. I follow him on social media, and he really teaches me so much. And so he's going to be talking about looping. We are the first state in the union to have looped not only our visitor galleries and our meeting rooms for both the House and the Senate, but also each legislator desk and the legislative floor. So any of our legislators, like Senator Alston, they can access the loop system. So we are completely inclusive at our state capitol. And again, Sky Harbor Airport, we are the 5th largest city in the country. Sky Harbor Airport, Terminal 3, every gate is looped. And as they renovate Terminal 4, the gates will be looped as well. So that's a big impact, not just on us Arizonans, but to the millions of travelers who go through Sky Harbor every year. So I hope Betty has found that bill number, and I will mute myself now.
Yes, I put it in the chat. Senate Bill 1034 is Senator Rogers' bill. That is the one that is the VA tax exemption that includes the spouses. And then House Bill 2454 is Representative Carter out of LD 15. His is the other VA property exemption for individuals with disabilities and service disabilities. So those are the two bills.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Betty. Does anyone else have any other questions for Betty, for Becca, or for Nikki? All right. Thank you so much for that great information. It's so important. This is how we lead the way, and we appreciate you very much. So,
thank you, guys.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Christy, I just wanted to say goodbye. I have to jump to another meeting. Y'all know I'm super busy, and I love seeing everyone again. So thank you so much for letting me come.
Thank you, Betty. Okay, so we're doing great on time. It's 10:30, so we have a whole nother half hour, so don't feel rushed. And on the agenda next, I have Ron, if you want to make any comments about it'll be here before we know it, right, Ron? The walk for hearing in 2022.
So the walk for hearing is scheduled for November 5th of this year, 2022. National has set our goal for $60,000. We have received the final report. I received it at about 6 o'clock this morning from the 2021 walk. So we will be sending out the Alliance checks probably early next week. So West Valley should receive their check, and Aloha should receive their check next week. So that's good news. What is even better news, and I always like to see this, and I know Barry's interested in this. Every year we do a balance of the books and how much money we bring in at the state level and how much money the walk brings in at the national level. And it's divided up 40% and 10%. We are receiving $8,138 back from national from the walk that we held in 2021. So and that goes right back to Arizona, right back to the next walk that we will build. So we don't have to pay national this year. We do have a couple of positions opened if you are interested in getting involved in the walk. My lovely wife is dropping out as the raffle coordinator, and we would like to keep that part of the walk going, but I do not have anyone that has shown any interest in that. So if you would like to, or know anybody that might be interested in that, please let me know. Let's see. Barry is staying on with the walk, and there are some personnel changes that we are making, and Barry is going to be taking over the refreshments table. Dana Dana will be taking over registration along with Corinne. So some changes there. I just want to make one more announcement, is that the HLAA convention will be in June from the 23rd to the 25th, Tampa, Florida at the Marriott. Registration for early bird registration is open now, and it's on the website www.hearingloss.org. And early bird registration is open until March 4th. You get a discount if you register now. There is vaccination requirements. You have to send HLAA a copy of your vaccination card that you've had filled out. So if you do not have that on file with HLAA, you will not be allowed into the event this year. So it's got to be on file. Any questions for me about the convention or the walk in 2022? Yes, Christy.
Ron, I was just wondering, since vaccines will be required, the card, but will people be wearing masks, do you know, at the convention?
There, on the website, there is no requirement for masks as of right now. Things can change as we get closer, but I think masks are being eased up. As long as you have your registration on file with them, you won't need a mask.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions for Ron? All right. So next on the agenda, I'm always eager to hear from Harvey Smith from Arizona at Work and from Maricopa County. And Harvey, we're happy to have you with us. And I know you had some comments for unemployment activity. So I'll let you take it away.
Thank you very much. So, very interesting times at the moment. Employers are desperate for people still. We're seeing rapid increase in wages for even entry-level positions. I was contacted by good friends at a company called ThreadUp. They're an online recycling clothing company, or second-hand clothing company. ThreadUp have opened a facility here in the West Valley about 3 years ago now. And they have had a look around and decided that they want to be much more inclusive. So I was able to connect them with Michelle and Christy, because they are looking to pilot a program to entice the deaf and hard of hearing to come and work for them, and then keep them. So that was really exciting. That was a couple of weeks ago. We are working with a lot of companies, including the Arizona State Health Services and the Veterans Administration, who are both looking for people. Both as diversity inclusive employers are looking for everybody, including veterans. So we are seeing a lot of more focus on that from employers, which is really nice. We do have our own in-person career fairs. We have one next Wednesday with 4 employers, including Peckham, who are looking for customer service people. Arizona State Health Services, Mark Anthony Brewing, which are looking for warehouse and supply people, and then a company called Con-Am, which is actually a property management company, and they're looking for facilities people and customer service. So we are starting to see an uptick in activity. We are seeing an uptick in people showing up, still nowhere near the numbers we need. So this is best demonstrated by the fact that our job board has nearly 100,000 posted jobs on it as of this morning, and yet we only have 12,500 current resumes on the same job board. So there's a clear disconnect. The good news is if you are looking for work, just show up. Literally just show up. Smile and do it every day. You'll get a job. I'm not oversimplifying it. It really is that straightforward. We had a career fair 2 weeks ago, and 75% of the people who showed up were offered jobs verbally the same day. So that gives you an idea of what the job market is like. The other thing we're seeing is a steep increase in wages. So, for example, some of my hotels that I work closely with, like the Renaissance in downtown Phoenix, now have a full-time permanent position for housekeeping, starting at about $17 an hour plus benefits. I know the Arizona Grand, which is ITED and Baseline, they're starting their housekeepers at $20 an hour plus full benefits. And their expectation is that when they hire you, not only will you stay, but we would like to promote you. So a lot of these jobs, which were traditionally part-time, entry-level, low upward mobility jobs, are disappearing. We're now starting to see companies being much more intentional about bringing teach you our way and move you up. So for those of us in the deaf and hard of hearing community, this really is an amazing time. My vocational rehabilitation folks are getting their people hired left, right, and center, and I'm feeling a bit left out. So come and talk to us. Come and see us. Drop me a line. Let me know how we can help. If I don't know the answer or the right sector, I'll put you in contact with somebody who can. So that's really our news. We are seeing, as I said, quite a lot more activity, but we still desperately need job seekers. So please don't be shy if you haven't worked in a while or you've been a full-time parent or caregiver. Those are highly transferable skills which are in high demand. So come and see us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harvey. It's always, it's almost mind-blowing to hear the statistics and just amazing times, as you say, for what's happening right now. So I'm so happy to have you on the task force because of this, because I do, I can always assure people, even if they're hard of hearing and they're really feeling insecure about looking for work, now is the time to get out there and figure it out, because there is a job that, we're great problem solvers, we like to say. We can figure it out. And so now is a really great time to be able to do that. So I appreciate your input, Harvey. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Harvey? No? Comments? No? Okay. All right. Well, I also have on the agenda just a time for open announcements and sharing of information. If anybody has anything at all that they want to contribute or share with the group. And Fred, thank you so much. I'll turn it over to you.
Excuse me, two quick things. First of all, when Michelle and Christy make the offer to call them for help, it really is good and it's really sincere. And recently, Melanie and I lost one of our members had to move to Indiana. She didn't know anybody, didn't know where to start. And we called Christy and Michelle, and Christy called her counterpart, apparently in Indianapolis. And we've got our friend, our former member now is getting some help. So we really appreciate that. And it's a good service. Second thing is on the book that Cynthia mentioned earlier that Aloha's reading. And this is the title, and it's about decline. And Keith Darrow is the author. It talks about decline, of which hearing loss, of course, is a big part. But then I started looking at it and I saw sitting is the new smoking. And the author really gets into it about this and says, I know you guys are laughing, but he's serious. And he says that because we spend so much time in front of TV and our computer screens, we're spending a lot of time sitting. And man was not invented to sit. The chair was invented much after man was invented. So anyway, be careful. The book is interesting, but you need to stay active.
Thank you, Fred. I just want to make a comment about that because I was just thinking to myself in the past 2 years and working from home, definitely sitting more, not maybe trying to be safe and being at home and not getting out there. And I think, I don't know if any of you relate to this, but oftentimes after working all day and being on Zoom, even when I'm love my job and so happy at work, I am so tired. I'm fatigued, I'm tired. So I think this input is so important. Sitting is a new smoking. So I'm just trying to think how to get over that hump. And I'm wondering how any of you do it, because I know all of you relate to that fatigue that we feel, whether it be 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whenever it comes. It's hard. Does anybody have any tips on how they get through those moments? Because I know with hearing loss, that's a really real thing. It's hard to sometimes, and being active is so important, as you say. Liz has her hand up. And you just unmute Liz too. You're muted, Liz. Yep.
Okay. Well, for me around here, it changed a little bit because we tend to babysit our son's dogs a lot. So the dogs need walking. So that has gotten me off my seat a couple times a day to walk the dogs. And it really does make a difference. You feel so much better, when you do something like this. So anyway, have to get a dog or borrow one. Right now we have a St. Bernard from one son and we have a smaller 30-pound dog from another son. And they don't get along. So we are living with a lot of closed doors.
That's a great comment. We have a new puppy at our house too, Liz. So that we adopted from Hlaa Rescue Center, and a little black Labrador Collie mix. So I am finding out just what you are. I am moving more since having the puppy. So finding out how challenging that is. So Roz, you have your hand up.
I got a new Fitbit watch, and there's a setting on it that you can set to activate that tells you you've been sitting too long. And it reminds you to get up and move around.
I think that's great. I have a Fitbit. I need to wear mine. I have one, but I think sometimes we just don't realize how long we've been sitting, especially if we're tired. So it's kind of nice to have that little friendly reminder to get up and move. Yeah, I appreciate that. And Fred, I appreciate that input because it's something that we all need to be aware of and think about. And, it's hearing loss is a healthcare issue, as Michelle always says, and it impacts us in so many different ways and so many different levels. So thank you very much for that. Does anybody have any other comments or questions that they want to make before I adjourn the meeting today? Oh, Harvey's hand, it is up.
Thank you. A quick comment about Dr. Sean Stevens. I had my cochlear put in by him November 4th last year. So yes, I know him well, and as far as I can tell, his work is excellent. And I'm now 3 months into using a cochlear, and it's been a fascinating experience and very different. So I'm still learning how to use it and how to enjoy it. But discovered that when I first turned it on, speaking of dogs, every dog bark sounded like somebody dropping a 2x4 onto a concrete floor. Now, after a few months, I can recognize that it is actually a dog barking and not somebody dropping lumber.
Thank you, Harvey, for sharing that. I know I've been thinking about you and wondering how that's going, and it's always so helpful when other people, share their experiences, and helps us all to, become familiar with the process. And I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? All right, well, let's see, we did pretty good today. It's 10:45, and if anybody else, any other comments, I'm going to adjourn our first live stream Hard of Hearing Task Force meeting, but I do want to say, before I log off, May 20th, 2022, that's when we'll see each other again. It'll be a little bit warmer then, and I look forward to having you back with us, and I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I appreciate so much your service and all that you do for the hard of hearing community. So we'll go ahead and log off at 10:45 a.m. Thank you all.